So after a lot of hacking and hewing and cursing and ahooga, I did get this to work. Now, I've only attached the one side, which is on with CA, and if I really want to, I can break this loose, but not easily. The reason I do that, again, Tom Piedmont taught me this trick, and it works really well. So if you ever have to get in there, since there's no way to screw these nacelles on, not really, you could actually crack this loose, which I've done twice already trying to do this. Now, if you look from the side here, well, you'll see, first of all, I've got rudder movement. No problem there. Let me stick something in the little hole there so you can really see it move. There we go. Okay. Well, that's our rudder. And then here I've got this really thin piece of brass. Now, the reason I use such a thin piece of brass, and you see it's kind of bent. Here, I'll put it in the light. It's kind of bent. Is because to have a shaft long enough, and I may cut this down a little bit, long enough to move these from the inside, as you see they move rather effectively. Yeah, I had to fold the metal, kind of bend it and squeeze it under, even with the slot as big as it is. So now the tricky thing to do is, what I'm going to do next week, is probably build a little, I don't know, encapsulation around this, and then just put putty down in here with tape and sand it as best I can from the inside to shape it. A flat piece of styrene going all the way down here will work pretty good. It's really hard to see under there the damage that was done, but it had to be done because there was no other way to do this. And now we've got a very effective elevator. Lots of down, lots of up, no problem. So I'm very happy with that. And of course we have our rudder. So that problem is solved. The other, I'm going to hook up the other side, which is pretty easy. I'll go get this. I'm not going to hook it up right now, but basically I glue one side with CA, and so that I can still flex it to one side. So I can open up this side kind of at this angle to get over the rudders there. And then that will pop on like that and glue on, and then those will be done. And so we have the control horn for our rudders, and we have the control horn for our elevators. So that worked out really well. The other thing I did is I replaced these parts that came with it because they're made out of cast resin. And although I'm sure they work, I was just really uncomfortable with these. I replaced them with these. Now, these were a lot more expensive. These were $32 for 4 of these. And I also replaced the dog bones with these. These are nylon, and these will under no circumstances break. And now I can really show you how I can turn this at any angle. I can turn it at this angle, see? I can turn it at this angle. So that way, when it's inside the model, this has to come up and kind of into one side to reach to the cylinder, and then that will turn the little propeller inside. Now, wow, you're probably wondering how that's going to work because these are so short. I'm going to cut them in half, and I put them inside of a piece of brass and put a pin through them that reaches to the cylinder. So you got this long shaft with one of these at each end. And that's how that works. And that replaces that part right there. So I'm real happy with that because that's going to be a big improvement. I just worry about those things breaking. This will be a lot more solid. Additionally, I'm going to go in here and braze out, grind out this a little bit bigger, a little bit more open now that I see what I got to work with, and I see how this closes up. So this is, I feel a lot better now because I feel like I can breathe. That really upset me when I saw that. I realized, oh, wait a minute, he closed it up without having any provision for the control horn. So that's the end of a pretty terrifying story it ended well, I think. So anyway, next week we will finish off the other side, and then we're going to move on up here and add these parts, which are pretty awesome. These are parts, of course, that David Merriman made, and the little bow planes will be cut out from the original plastic hull, and these parts are what David Merriman made, and they fit perfectly, and I mean perfectly. Look at that inside this. I mean, just notch right in there. And then, of course, these are the replacement dive planes that go into this, and this will allow the boat to have some pitch control from the bow planes. So I'm looking really forward to putting that together. That's going to be pretty neat. So we'll be doing all that next week, and we'll have this model pretty far along. We'll have all the business part of it hooked up and working is my plan.